they're all pretty good. They're, well, you know Ron, Tech Control, God, everyone knows Ron. And then Billy McGee's a good guy, he's a union rep.
Yes.
So he knows about speed.
Yeah.
He's a good, he runs his own pension.
He was tentative, but Mark's
And then
supposed to be
Lori's
coming.
a psychologist. Board certified psychologist. So she's trying to analyze this all.
I haven't gotten any emails, probably.
Yeah, you should, it would be great.
So they're finally retiring. Yeah. James isn't doing too good. He's having trouble speaking. And, he's 90.
What gives us a
I
car,
have
huh?
family and
Correct.
relatives and friends who, one time, I think they probably put some of the
Yes.
stones in the church. 'Cause
Good morning. We'll call to order the Tuesday, January 9th, 2018 meeting of the General Purpose Authority. Mark, would you like to call roll?
Mr. Langen?
Present.
Mr. Donahue? Absent. Mr. Dowd?
Present.
Mr. Chavone?
Here.
Ms. Ferraro? Absent. Ms. Whitaker?
Here.
Mr. Copland? Absent.
Okay. Staff present, Mark Hartney, Dave Hughes, Sarah Ortiz, John Lucius, our solicitor. Approval of minutes, December 5th, 2017, are in your package. They're also provided via email.
What the minutes reflect that Mr. Donahue just arrived?
Yep. Hey, Sean. Good morning.
Hey, Sean, good morning. Happy New Year. Sean.
I took a look at these when they were sent out. The only thing I had a question on the 5.4 approval, the motion for approval of the art project. It says contingent upon staff involvement with final approval by the GP of where the art will be placed. It was on him finding a location, correct?
Yes.
And then we were going to...
Yeah,
Correct.
And I have
Okay.
talked to him, and I gave him some details.
Yeah, and I gave
of
him,
the
we had a
county.
little
Right.
email chain or text chain.
Right.
But we all wanted to, you wanted to agree on where it was going to be
Oh,
located.
okay. Yep. Yep. Very good. Then that's fine. 'Cause if he finds a place and brings it to us, then we discuss. Very good. Okay. And I believe Bethlehem had a handful of sites,
Yes. Okay.
as well as, yeah, there's some other ones that came up. He was talking with the Easton too, but I think he preferred to be in Bethlehem, as his other work has already, has a couple other pieces in Easton.
So someone needs to take the motion.
Yep.
And I can't because I wasn't here.
Okay, be abstaining.
Are we looking for a motion to approve?
Yeah, just people are still reading the,
Oh, okay.
looking at the documents, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Donahue,
I'll second.
seconded by Helene. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Carries. Treasurer's report, Dave.
Okay, as I've done in the past, I've given you a sheet that shows all the accounts and all the activity. Most all the activity usually comes from the checking account. And wherever you see a D/C, that means there was a deposit and offsetting check. Basically, those are all relative to the P3 account. You see Sol, which is $9,775.07. That completes the contract with Sol on the work that was done for the GPA.
Okay.
The one item, if you look over on the insurance account, you'll see a deposit of $37.50 and then a transfer of $750. The reason for the transfer was we were going to set up an automatic transfer out of the account with the vendor. That, for some reason, did not work. So we ended up taking the $7,500, and you can see that it was transferred over to the checking account, and we actually wrote a check out to PMA to get that thing cleared out, and that brought us all up to date for last year.
Okay.
It shows the final deposits as of 11/30 at $2,727,636.45. And just for the board to know, we did get the fee for St. Luke's. That came in on 12/2, and our fee was $200,000.
Okay.
And there was a $15 wire transfer fee, so that's all complete.
Very good.
Hey, Dave,
Yeah.
Just quickly, have you had any further communication with Debbie Borger on the
There's
audit?
been a couple of conference calls
Okay.
with the Finance Committee here at the county to try to get an understanding. I don't think it's been resolved.
Okay.
Yeah, she had called me on Friday and then sent me an email over the weekend of what they were looking for.
Okay.
But it was what the third-party engineer can provide.
Whatever,
There's two things. There's one, it was the cost allocation, and two was anything that was expended but not billed, I believe, prior to
okay.
end of 2017.
Okay.
That's what she was, and again, I said, put it in an email so it's not whispered down the alley with me with accounting practices, because that wouldn't work really well.
I just thought of it when you mentioned
Yeah.
financials and whatever
Yeah,
we
so
need to do.
I'll forward that, I'll
Right.
forward that on.
Okay.
Communication
Yeah, because
between Debbie and the county.
one
Yeah.
thing was coming from our third-party engineer, and one thing had to come from the developer's accounting side. So there's two things that she's still in need of. So that we do need to get done. But she did clarify it, and I'll get that to you. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dowd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Chivone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
On invoices, I did add an invoice for everyone, and I think I laid it every place. It was before the packet went out. It's one for Norris McLaughlin for business matters for the GPA, and it's $1,200.60, so I would need an approval on that.
Okay. I'll move to approve the bill as presented.
Second.
Second, Mr. Chivone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I did provide everybody with all the invoices that we paid throughout the year.
Okay. 4.0 annual meeting and election of officers. In your packet is I believe the same slate as last year. No one wants to jump around? Anybody? Please, for the love of God. No, kidding.
I move the slate.
Motion by Mr. Dowd,
Second.
second by Helene. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay. 5.0 public comment.
Can I go back to
Sure.
the annual meeting for a minute? As I indicated in an email, Helene's term expired on 12/31. I think everybody in the board agreed that, and I think Helene wants to continue to serve. And basically the Municipality Authorities Act allows her to continue to serve until a successor is appointed. I will tell you, I ended up spending more than a little bit of a time looking at vacancies because there's appeared to be an inconsistency between the bylaws and the authorities' articles of incorporation as to how vacancies are to be filled. And this predates me, but I decided to look at it more closely with Helene's expiration of her term. And we had to actually do some digging into Pennsylvania law. We think we reconciled it, but the bylaws were amended and restated in 2013, and they weren't, I don't know who did them, they predated me, but they were not entirely clear or consistent with the law. But I think it turns out that based on some research we did, that the protocol that's been followed is okay. But I wanted to mention that. I'm going to send all of the board members some background on that when it's completed. Okay. But I was concerned that we weren't following the law, or the bylaws were structured such that we were not following the law. But I think we are.
That was probably still Jay Leeson at the time, I'm going to guess.
Whoever did it.
Well, it only went from him to...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All righty, very good. Yeah, and I believe everybody was in support of,
Yes.
of Helene
Right.
being able to stay. Helene, who did you come in under? Was this like your third
I think it's,
county executive?
I think it's, actually, this was just my first term.
Okay, all right. I thought you were came in under Stofa. Yeah.
You might be right. You might
Yeah,
be right.
yeah. You definitely came in under. Yeah.
Everybody else's term expires out.
Okay.
1920.
Yeah.
I think the next one may be the end of this year, but
Okay.
I might have to go back and look. Sarah,
Alrighty.
you may know.
Very, very good. Let's see. Public comment 5.0. Anybody? Okey doke. Old business 6.1 P3 project status update. You'll look, there is a memo from Benish, our third-party consulting engineer. They basically laid out where they're at with basically everything that they're reviewing at this time and keeping track of. So to kind of blast through this pretty quick, design reviews under PA permits. They received 2 permits from PADEP for bridge number 63 and 189. They did 7 permit applications were submitted to PADEP for bridge 66, 184, 191, 202, 205, and 227, and 228. All of them have been reviewed by Benish prior to submission. So when GPI, the engineer on behalf of the developer, they're preparing things before it gets submitted, it goes through a Benish review to make sure it's in compliance with everything, and then it goes in from there. B, final structure plans. 10 final structure plans were submitted, including bridge number 157, which was built, and bridge 228, which on hold. They've been reviewed by Benish and noted either approved as noted or revised and resubmit. All of this stuff is put up on their on a shared website. So every time they submit plans, be it GPI or Benish's review, everything gets uploaded on what they call SharePoint, and then I'm copied on that each and every time, so I review that as often as daily when they have transmittals going back and forth on various things. Right-of-way plans, 11 plans submitted, and when they get submitted to PennDOT. Plans submitted, 10 bridge reviewed by Benish, and all noted, revise, and resubmit with only a few comments. Bridge number 228 was not reviewed pending outcome from bridge 124 from Allen Township. Arrow will be sending property valuation by the end of the week for the GPA to review. Arrow is doing the work on any of the right-of-way work on behalf of the third-party developer. Utilities, all the utility relocations have been noted on the final bridge plans and are within permanent easements. GPI is currently working on a reimbursable agreement between the utilities and the GPA for the cost of the relocations. This I have an issue with, and I'm going to speak with Benish. If this were it's a county bridge, they're allowed to hang their structures on the bridge. If this were like a PennDOT project, and doing this as a private developer, if it were a PennDOT project, they don't charge PennDOT. They'll come and remove their services and reattach their services. So I don't want.
Thank you.
Well,
and PPL is the only one who's doing this.
Yeah, and ultimately, I mean, like none of these are pass-throughs, so none of these are a GPA cost. They would go back. And
That's right. Remember
under
the contracts
PPA,
are written. Right.
It's protecting the county, not necessarily
Exactly.
us. But that's they're trying to. That's the utilities trying to do a money grab for services they would normally provide.
And again, there are multiple utility providers involved,
Yeah.
and my understanding is PPL is the only one who's made an issue of it monetarily.
Yeah, so we need to get whoever the public works director is to also be able to get up to speed on this, so he knows what's going on. Bridge number 124, the GPA is waiting for Allen Township to respond. John, do you want to handle that one? For John's request of Township to own the bridge for the next 14 years. Okay.
Briefly, because this probably warrants some comment.
Okay.
Bridge 124 is the bridge on Willowbrook Road near the new FedEx facility. The township in Rockefeller, I think pretty much, as I understand it, unbeknownst to the county, and this is well before the GPA,
Yep.
started negotiations regarding the replacement of that bridge. And apparently those negotiations resulted in an agreement
Yeah.
that the bridge was going to be replaced. But the parties, for whatever reason, didn't recognize that the bridge is not owned by the township and really did not have the Public Works Department of the county involved in the discussions. There was a meeting in December with Rockefeller, the township attorneys, basically saying it's in our project. And the township is very hard, I should say, it's very hot to have the bridge replaced. In fact, said we want it replaced by June. Everybody in the room laughed. It's not going to happen. And basically, the situation is now compounded by the fact that there are archaeological finds in the vicinity of the bridge, which could delay the process
Yeah.
of getting the necessary permits by a substantial period of time. After analyzing it with Benish, we thought the best thing to do was go back to the township and say, well, if you don't think the archaeological finds are a problem and you want the bridge designed a different way, and you want it.
That's the touching point here. Just the bridge to be reconstructed under the P3 project was going to be an upgrade of in substantial completion with what was there, in compliance with what was there. Rockefeller, based on their traffic, oh, she dropped. Oh. Yeah, can you dial her back in? Thanks. Yeah, basically Rockefeller's need is for like a 3-lane bridge to allow for a center turning lane that's closer. So it's well in excess of what was designed to be replaced by the county. So, you know, the best scenario there is they were already a pre-existing developers agreement that says they're replacing that bridge. So it's a good thing. They can do their own bridge under their own timeline.
Yeah, and what it would do is it would save the GPA. It would save the GPA and the county a substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
And Rockefeller got caught because it was shocked to hear that under our P3 project, prevailing wage has to be paid.
Yeah.
And Rockefeller said, well, that's not in the budget. I said, well, that's not our issue.
Yeah, so that's where we're at right now with that in terms of, you know, Rockefeller is obligated to replace it on their own to that level of standard.
At their cost.
The county and GPA can't go back and say, hey, let's redesign a bridge and make it
exactly,
you know, 3 lanes wide and guarantee a delivery date.
Since the GPA owns the bridge, we would quit claim it to the township for 14 years. It would have to come back in a certain condition so that when the bridges are reconveyed back to the county in 14 years out.
They'd have to have the same maintenance provisions that protected the county.
Exactly.
Yep.
And in the process, it would save a lot of administrative issues and ultimately a lot of cost to the GPA and the county.
Okay.
And let them deal with it.
Yep.
And Mike, you're particularly sensitive to this because it's near the airport.
Right.
Yeah, the only thing there is the developer who is under contract to reconstruct the bridge already has to give up those rights.
And I've actually, yes, Krieger would have to agree, and I already spoke with Krieger's counsel about this and said we understand that as part of the overall bid, Krieger probably did build in a profit margin for this bridge, may already have some sunk costs for design. And my view is that those costs would be the purchase price that the township would pay to take the bridge.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
As long as we don't get drawn into.
That's it. We shouldn't have to pay a damn dime because of something other people went off and did with what was a county bridge
and
now is a GPA bridge.
The option nobody wants to see is the bridge gets done under the normal timeline of the GPA of the P3 project, and then they need to go reconstruct a bridge that was built at
exactly.
So, use an example, say a 50-foot, and they need a 75. I can't remember what the dimensions were of the. Well, they didn't have they knew it had to be 3 lanes, but they didn't have a design done.
No.
And they're saying we want it done by June.
No,
that's the one you go. Here you go. Go. Go play builder in the bridge world.
You handle it. Bottom line is.
Yep.
we're saving everybody money by this proposal, and the ball is in the township's court.
So we'll
to
keep
get back
everybody up to
us.
date on that, but that's just one of the ones, that's the only one we've had any kind of
So
hiccup
we won't,
with.
we won't take any action until we know what the final situation is.
Yeah, correct. We'd have to come back and we'd have to document to be, it's not just a, hey, go take
Right.
over the bridge, so.
Final comment, Benish, as being an engineer, I can tell you, I've dealt with engineers, Benish is doing a phenomenal job for us. They have been really whipping the horse here down the backstretch.
Yep. No, everything's on time, under budget, so. Benish can approve milestone payment 3. Benish can approve milestone payment 3 once Bridge 157 is complete. There is one punch list item remaining to correct the guide rail connection to the parapet. All the other criteria for the milestone payment are complete. Krieger is working to fabricate the guide rail connections. I don't see the application for payment number 3 until Benish completely signs off on all
And they're
engineering
waiting-
aspect.
they're
So
waiting-
that hasn't come to, like, they don't just approve it and then somebody, I have to review that once it gets done. Okay, a little synopsis. Overall, the project is moving very well. Benish has been in constant communication with GPI. Just for everybody, GPI is the engineer doing the design work on behalf of the developer, construction manager, Krieger. Regarding the design reviews, Krieger has not yet chosen which bridge will be constructed in 2018, which they will not know until right-of-way is cleared. The team is meeting on Wednesday to discuss right-of-way and utility clearance over the next few weeks, and John Lucius is working on an update PPA agreement. So that is the that is the update on the bridge. New business?
Can I mention one thing on the old business?
Yes, sir.
I have sent to Bedco the loan documents and haven't heard a word.
I spoke with Alicia, and their solicitor was reviewing them as of last week, and she thought that was going to be resolved soon because
The roof didn't collapse, did it?
thankfully we haven't had enough snow.
And right now, it's frozen in place, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked because they came in saying that the world was going to end by December 15th if things weren't buttoned up.
Okay. New business, 7.1 PA Ethics Statement of Financial Interest.
Yes, in your packets were your financial interest statements. We need those completed. You can complete them online. I believe Sarah has some ones that were just printed right off the website, if that's more helpful. But when do they due, Sarah?
These are the 2018 ones?
May 1st, yeah.
May
These are
1st.
for this, okay.
We're in the next year.
Yep.
So this would be for 2017.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's try to get those in for the, do you have, these were from 2017?
This would be 2017, so the previous year.
Okay, okay. It's not the carryover from the ones we were.
No, I believe
Okay.
we have
I'm just
everybody's.
making sure, 'cause okay. Very good. Okay. Under new business, we have a new county executive, Lamont McClure. Hi, Lamont, I'm Sean Langen. Nice to meet you. Ken Kraft, I believe.
Morning.
I don't believe we met one time. Welcome. Under the agreements for the P3, there are responsibilities that were tied into the Director of Public Works. Do you have a Public Works Director named yet, or can we get it? We will soon. Okay. At the most convenient time, and I did try to give you a ring on Friday. I'd like to get together with you to sit down. But I can kind of go over what responsibilities that person has in the mix of, well, we have to go over everything, but there are specific things, even like we were talking about the utilities hanging on the bridges. It's a county-owned bridge. Well, it's a GPA-owned bridge for a period of time. But, you know, I think that would go a long way, having the Public Works Director there to fight with. Because, again, the way it's written, if they move something and they charge us for it, when I say us, That's a county cost, and we've done our best to mitigate any. So we don't want PP&L coming with their hand out, and then every small third-party phone company that's hanging on something going, oh, wait, we moved our lines, and they all want 10 grand at every, we don't want to see that happen. So anyway, we can go over that when you have some free time, but I just wanted to say hello. So that's it. Any other new business? Okay. I'd like to go to executive session on a couple of matters.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Dowd,
Second.
second by Mr. Chivone. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you want staff to attend?
No,
No.
no. These are privileged.
Here are copies of the.
So how do we get Helene over?
An extra. I only have one extra copy of that. Sorry.
So how do we get Helene over?
Here's her number. Helene, we'll dial you in a sec.
Okay,
So you want to drop off of this one?
yep,
Okay,
thank you.
thanks.
Mark, you want to connect Helene again?
I'm here.
She's back.
Hey, Helene.
I'm back.
I move we come out of adjourn executive session, return to normal session.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Dowd, second, Mr. Chavone. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okey doke. Where'd my- Oops. Staff report, 8.0.
No report.
No report? Okay. Last month, we said we were going to get an update on the Petrucci project, the shell building.
Petrucci is moving along, and I'm expecting, I think they were waiting to see how things were looking this year, so I'll reach out to them. LVIP is in the process of interviewing design builders for their shell building project, and I expect February or March that they will be coming with a proposal for a project.
Okay. All righty.
Remind me with respect to Petrucci, have we closed on a loan with him?
Oh, no.
We're waiting-
We have not. They have the loan documents. They were finalized with us. We're waiting for them.
They've had it for a couple of months.
But what's the?
I have no clue.
So we can use that money for LVIP.
I,
How long, when did we make that commitment?
I'm thinking early fall. I'd have to go back.
Yeah, I think it was September.
Then I heard something to the effect that they didn't want to close until March.
Oh,
I don't know the specifics.
We approved that way before.
They were looking. The last I had talked to them, they were talking about starting construction in March. They didn't want to start before the winter
That's-
and have to wait, and so they haven't executed any of the
That's
documents.
what,
Oh,
okay.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. So they have not started construction?
They haven't started
I
construction.
misunderstood.
No,
I thought
sorry,
they had-
No. No, they haven't started construction.
Okay.
They're expecting in the spring.
Very good. Next meeting, Tuesday, February 6th, 2018, 8:15 a.m. We had talked, Mark had brought up the question of like inclement weather. Like today was a little bit icy, and some of you guys are coming, like Mark's coming from the northern tier of the county. We can do something like the night before via email or a phone call. I mean, if it's going to be bad, like a blizzard, we'll get a hold of you. We'll get a hold of
My
everybody.
preference is
Okay.
you cancel so you can be at the March meeting,
Yes. Yeah.
What's that? Oh,
right?
I
okay.
learned a long time ago, discretion is a much better tool than deciding I can brave my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okey doke, very good. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, do we have a
Adjourn.
motion to adjourn? Motion, Mr. Dowd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Chivone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Helene.
Thanks.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, here's. I'll send you this, but this is what I want.